Ah, Gork and Mork must be pretty happy with old Big Mek, because the Red Gobbo brought him something for Squigmas. Let's get into it. All together now. WAG! Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Faster. I'm old Big Mek, and it's time for another episode of the news. And there's so much of it, I had to write it down. So let's get into it. That is right. It is time for the news again, which is old Big Mek's very orc-slanted version of everything going on with our beloved hobby of Warhammer. And also this channel. And yeah, it's been a little bit since we did some news. There's a lot of channels that cover the stuff that goes on with Games Workshop every single day or every single week. I'm just not that person. I'm not interested in everything that they do, and frankly, I think it's a lot of algorithm baiting type stuff, so I don't really care. What I do want to do is bring you the news that I think actually matters to those of you that watch this channel, because it's the news I care about, and I'm pretty sure you guys all care about what I care about, right? Right? Yeah. Okay. Let's get into it. The biggest news is, yes, in this box, which we're gonna open together right now. Let me go find something sharp. Let's see that. What is that? Do I look like a weedy get? Yeah, that's a knife with some teeth on it. So, those of you that know what's going on, or have a good guess, tell by the size of this here package that what old Big Mek got his hands on was a Holiday Battleforce. That's right, I did manage to get my hands on one pretty easily, actually, and that's really the first big news thing I want to talk about. These are out now. They are in people's hands. We've done a number of videos on these from when they were first announced. I talked up the B-Snag one, and then when they all got announced, and I did a really deep dive on all of them. You can totally check those out if you just click on my channel and go look at the videos. I did all 6 Warhammer 40k Holiday Battleforce boxes, super deep dives. Looked at how well they played with the combat patrols, how well they played with the armies, how strong they were, how many points you got in the box, how many models, like how cool it was. And yeah, obviously, I'm a big fan of the orc one. And I really wanted one. Now, I spent my own teeth on this. This is not sponsored or anything like this. In fact, I actually had to sell my personal Old Hammer Blood Angels army that I had been working on. I had a bunch of old squatty Marines that had been buying up, and some of the Horus Heresy 1.0 type stuff, and was putting it all together. Had a little Blood Angel army going, and ended up selling that on eBay, and I took the money from that to buy this because I wasn't real happy with the Blood Angels, honestly. I wasn't going to expand them really anymore. I started to make them into a heresy thing, and then realized that there was no Death Company, and that was like my favorite part about Blood Angels. So, long story. Anyways, yes, I sold one of my armies so I could expand one of my armies. And yeah, this is what we've got. So we'll talk about this particular box and what it means for the channel more later. The important thing is that the Battleforces are out, and they're not just out in the mail, they are out in the wild. I was at my friendly local game store this week, and they had a number of them out on the shelf, including the one with Angron. I found one locally where I live. All right, I know that one's like the hottest one online, but I mean, it was just sitting there on the shelf. Like, no big deal. I know that my 2 closest G-Dub stores also got in a bunch of the shelf stock. I talked about this in my video about the Battleforces in the news when they were announced. People were like, oh my god, they sold out online. Well, they like initial allocation sold out, then they allocated more, and then they made sure that like shops got shelf stock. Shelf stock is a very important concept in retail. Basically, shelf stock is something that you order as a retail location to put on the shelf so that when people walk in the door, they've got something to look at and buy. And it's an industry thing. It's everywhere. It's not just Warhammer stuff. You've got it on everything from magic cards to clothing and apparel, right? Like, you've got to have stock on the shelf. So Games Workshop was very specific that Holiday Battleforces needed to have a certain amount of stock on the shelf. That stock has now arrived. So if you haven't bought one online, go down to your store and see what they got. You might be surprised they're going to have some shelf stock. Also, online has restocked. Now, as of this recording, not all of them are available online everywhere, but old Big Mek here was able to find quite a few of them on Amazon. So there are affiliate links down below. If you click on those, you can buy them actually at a reduced price from retail, and old Big Mek gets a couple of teeth for it, which would be really cool and help the channel. Side note, if you run a hobby store or you know somebody that runs a hobby store and they're looking to break into this whole thing and like have an affiliate, have them talk to me. None of my local stores deal with shipping, stuff like this, so they don't really want to do an affiliate thing. And yeah, so if you got anybody that wants to work with me, whether in the US or out of the US, have them drop me an email. My contact info, you go to the YouTube channel itself, and then under the About Us section, there's a contact email for businesses. Definitely have them reach out, because I would love to put some links down in the description for you guys that will save you actual money on Warhammer stuff and not go to Daddy Bezos. Okay, done with the side. But yes, Holiday Battleforces, that was the biggest, most important news item that I really want to talk about. They are in stock. You can get your hands on them. This wasn't even the first one I've seen. Like I said, it was in my local game stores this week. I could have grabbed the one with Angron, the Imperial Guard, and the Squats one, the Leagues of Votan. We're all out there in the wild, no problem. Oh, and the Orcs one, of course, duh. In fact, I almost bought another one. I don't have the teeth for it this year. And frankly, if I did have the teeth for it, I'd be buying some more stuff for my kids at this point. But yeah, the boxes are out there. If you want one, if you need one, if you are trying to buy one for somebody else, go out there and get it right now. This is the time. Okay, moving on. Item number 2. Item number 2 is this beautiful little bugger here. This is the Grotus Gets. This is the Red Gabo / holiday special, but for Age of Sigmar instead of Warhammer 40k. It is now open for pre-order. In fact, it opened today, which is Saturday the 2nd. This one's going to be interesting. It's on pre-order for a couple of weeks, and then it's gone. But they're going to make them. So if you order it, you're guaranteed to get one. So if you want one of these, now is the time. Go to warhammer.com and type it in and get yourself a Grotus Get. I have no idea when they are going to be in stores, or if they're in stores. I haven't seen any in person. I don't know anybody that's seen any in person. But they say that you have until January 8th. But you are guaranteed to receive one, and there's no limit on ordering. You can order more than one of them. So not only that, you can order them. And again, it says that they're going to ship on or after launch day of 12/16/2023. This is a new thing that we're going to talk about next. But yeah, so it looks like the 16th, so about 2 weeks from now, 2 Saturdays from now, they will come out. Not too terribly bad of a price for this one. $40 just like the Red Gabo, but this is a significantly larger model. So that's pretty cool. And then it says that they are doing orders until January 8th. But if they run out, they'll make more. It might take up to 180 days to do it. The other thing that was cool about this, besides the fact that you've got some pictures here, which again is something we're going to talk about here very, very soon. On the bottom here now, they've got other items for you, which is a new and different and cool thing. The extra fun stuff is that their Merchoid stuff has really cool things out. You've got Squig socks and Red Gabo socks and ornaments, Squiggy ornaments, all sorts of fun things you could buy on the Warhammer.com website, as opposed to the Merchoid website, which is where you used to have to get all this stuff. For those of you unfamiliar with the Merchoid, what I'm talking about, if you go to the Warhammer community website, up here on the top they have their shop online, and they've had Games Workshop, which is funny, it still says Games Workshop and not Warhammer.com. Anyways, Black Library, Forge World, which is gone. And this one right here, Warhammer Merchandise. When you click that, that brings up Merchoid. And Merchoid here, they make t-shirts and stuff. In fact, you've seen my Red Ones Go Faster, basically, shirt came from here. I've gotten my kids the Merry Squigmas ones from a couple years ago. Unfortunately, their new Squigmas ones, which are really awesome, don't come in kid sizes, which is stupid. Those really should all come in Christmas sizes. But anyways, I digress. This is the Merchoid site. This is where you can get all sorts of things. You can get stuff from the video games. You can get shirts and whatnot. But they have these gifts. Where are they? Here we go. Yeah, so they got all the different Squigma shirts. Yeah, this one right here. They make this one in a kid size, but not any of the other ones. I'm going to get distracted shopping there and end up buying something for the Grots, I swear. But yeah, that's the Merchoid site. So Merchoid makes all the other Warhammer stuff. Things like the pins and the mugs and the shirts and stuff like that. When you go to Merchoid Direct and buy, it's usually a lot cheaper than getting it on GamesWorkshop.com. But sometimes they have stuff on Games Workshop or on Warhammer.com that is not on Merchoid. Like the socks and stuff, they're not actually on there. So yeah, interesting thing there. But they do have some really cool things that, again, you don't see on the Warhammer.com website. But definitely, if you're interested in any of that cool Christmas gear, holiday gear, Squigma stuff, it's all out there right now. In fact, I know that the socks and the ornaments are in the Games Workshop / Warhammer stores as well. Now, I talked about this. This is the next news item. Sorry. I talked about this a little bit just now when we were looking at the website. There have been website improvements. All right. This is big. So let's get into this one a little deeper. I've ranted on this channel multiple times on the news segments about how bad it is from a business standpoint on what they did to their website. Things like losing functionality with the search not working, losing customer confidence with things like having pending orders not be able to be ported over until they are completed, meaning they're like lost in the ether, and things of that nature. They've fixed some of those. In fact, we were looking at some. So one of the things that they've done is you will now find sprue pictures on a lot of the pages. Not every page has sprue photos yet, but they are starting to load up. Another thing that they are doing is giving you more views of the miniatures. When the website first launched, it was super quick and dirty, and they had like one photo of everything, and that was it. Now you're starting to get multiple views again. You're starting to get zooms again. I haven't found any that have the 360 back yet, and I know that that's a big deal because the 360 view, that imaging was done by an outside company. So that's something that G-Dubs paid a lot of money for to have done, and has proven to be like a very successful thing that people want because it helps them decide to buy a miniature, or supports them after they've bought it so they can turn it around and look at it online to get an idea of like how to paint it or even how to build it on some of the tricky to build ones. So I suspect that's coming, but they have fixed a lot of things. The search works a lot better now. I did on video, I searched for Orc and showed how nothing Orc came up, and I searched for Terminator and showed how nothing Terminator came up, and now it does. In fact, I will prove it right now by doing some searches. So if you put in Gobbo, now you get the Red Gobbo socks, the Red Gobbo ornament, the Red Gobbo himself, the Gobbo Rides Again book. You get the really cool old Forge World Black Gobbo. You get Gobbo Palooza, which doesn't even have Gobbo in the title, and Gobbo's Demise. So they're actually doing a lot better on the searches. When you search Terminator now, and again, this is one that I did live on the show before, only one thing came up. Now you get Librarian Terminator armor. You get the Warhammer Plus exclusive. You get the Cataphracti Terminators from Horus Heresy. You get the Tartaros, the Deathwings, Blight Lords, Wolfguard, Terminator Assault Squad. You get these upgrade packs they're showing now, and you're getting your characters in Terminator armor again. And you can see that we're getting Chaos, and we're getting Custodes, and we're getting Grey Knights, and we're getting regular Space Marines. like we're getting everybody again. This is a really, really, really big improvement compared to what we had earlier. And again, this is starting to look better now. You've got the one image, right, that they've given us before, but if you scroll down, you'll see the other images. You're getting your close-up shots, you're getting these detail shots, you're getting shots with different paint schemes and colors, and then boom, there's the sprues. So these are the multi-part Terminators, not the single builds that come in Leviathan, and that is a super nice look. And then also when you come down a little farther, they give you the related products. These don't always work out nice, but they are starting to work out less dumb than they had before. So definitely a lot of improvements. Another thing that has actually improved by leaps and bounds since they started the website was its use on mobile. Games Workshop had come out and said that was kind of one of the big reasons why they redid the website in the first place, is that the old website, as great as it was on desktop, was awful on mobile devices. And most web traffic these days is on something mobile, a cell phone, tablet, right? Something like that. And so they really wanted to get it working with that again. Well, I made my very first purchase ever on the Warhammer.com website through my phone. And that was a big deal. Again, I've been in this hobby for well over 30 years at this point. And yeah, I've bought on GamesWorkshop.com for decades and always been on PC to do it. And sometimes I've scrolled on my phone, to look at it, but it doesn't always work very well. Today, I got the email saying that, hey, you could pre-order the Grotus kit. And I'm like, man, I hope they don't sell out of this thing. I didn't know how limited it was going to be. And I got on there and I pulled it up and I was just able to click a button, add it to my cart, click a button to order it, and it was all done. And it was very seamless. And it was like, okay, you know what? As much as I gave Games Workshop, the business for really screwing up the website in the first place, I now need to, be a Big Mek of my word and come in and give them a little bit of praise for getting it fixed and starting to do things right. As far as I can tell, there are only a couple of things left to do. You're still missing the 360s, which we talked about. And then they have the old order problem. So all of the old orders from the old system that were completed have been ported over. I can pull up my order history and see all of my old orders back to perpetuity, right? That's great. The new orders are in there. In fact, I can go in there and look at the new order that I made today, see that it's pending and all that stuff. That's great. I still can't see my one pending order where I had the made-to-order terrain that's still coming. I trust that they're still going to make it and send it to me and that I will get it. And I assume that once it's complete, they'll upload it in the system. My theory here is, and I say this as somebody that, worked in sales for decades and knows the back ends of these kind of software systems. They're probably running two software systems still right now. They probably have all of their old orders still on their old system, and rather than try to make new orders in the new system that are duplicates, that can cause a lot of headaches and problems. It's you just keep the old system working until you clear all those orders out, and then you can shutter that completely, and then that system goes away. And so you're only porting over completed things. We actually did this in the healthcare industry too. I worked there for quite a bit, and we would have these online repositories of people's records, right? And you would move a record from one system to another, and it was, you wouldn't move anybody that was in active treatment because they're still going to the doctor, right? You don't want to mess that up. And anybody new coming in, you would put in the new system. But anybody that was old, if they had finished their treatment, right, because they're going to have a whole new number when they come back for a new round. This is not like regular healthcare. They would start a whole new file. So that treatment completion is what you would pull over to the new system. So I strongly suspect that that's what they're doing on the back end side. It just makes end users like me really uncomfortable going, hey, my order's still out there. I don't know where it is. From what I'm being told, it's not as bad for the stores anymore. They managed to get most of those sorted out. So anyways, just wanted to bring you an update that the Warhammer.com website has improved by leaps and bounds. And so if you haven't visited it in a hot minute, it's not a dumpster fire anymore. It's not perfect by any means, and I still don't think it's as good as the old website was yet. But I'm starting to see some of what they were going for with the improvements, and I definitely want to give credit where credit is due. They are making changes. All right, moving on from Games Workshop entirely at this point, and into things closer to home here at The Red Ones Go Fasta. So first of all, holiday shipping times. If you are looking to buy things from creators or other entities that are not Games Workshop, you really want to start thinking about that right now. Shipping times on like post office, UPS, FedEx, or you know, postal services you have in your countries, they're all, you know, they get backed up during the holiday season. It just happens. It's the busiest time of year for shipping, regardless of whether or not you participate in the holiday itself or holidays themselves. There's so many holidays going on. There's so much just gift giving tradition, period. It just becomes a real bottleneck. So if you're looking to buy stuff and you've got deadlines for it, whether it's a holiday or not, you definitely want to think about that. And go get it sooner rather than later, especially if it's from, you know, again, creatives and artists and things like that, and especially if they have to make them, if they're made on demand. Things like my red squig shirt, these are made as you order them. I don't have an inventory of them. I use Teespring for this, so they gotta make it, and then they gotta send it to you. So those kind of services, you are quickly running up on time where you're timed out on them. In fact, I just got done watching a Miniac where he was talking about his. So if you were going to get like a trapped under plastic shirt, like I've worn on the channel a bunch or anything like that, you know, again, they're going to need to get made and shipped out and things like that. So just if you've got an artist or a you know, creator that you want to support by doing some merch for the holiday season, this is your alarm. Right? Flag should start flying, because soon it's going to be too late and you might not have it in time for that celebration or holiday. Okay, moving on to the last item. And for that, we'll need our box here again. So I end the news with news on the channel itself, which has been a lot of fun. It's another way to engage with everybody. So we are quickly closing in on 2,000 subscribers, which is amazing. I want to thank each and every one of you. We are having an amazing time in the comment section of all of the videos, so definitely feel free to make yourself a part of the community down there. I do know that 60% plus of you that watch these videos are not subscribed yet, and if not, why not? It's free. You click a button, and it really helps old Big Mek out and all the other artists that we're working with, trying to raise up some voices, like the Goth Rockers, who do our intro and outro music. You can check them out on Spotify on a link below. Yeah. There's also Velgarn. Velgarn is the artist that did our new old Big Mek artwork, which we will also be turning into some merchandise. And if you want to commission some of your own artwork, his Twitter is down in our description below. And I'm really hoping to work with Velgarn some more in the future for more designs and really coming up with some awesome merch with his amazing artwork. So, just anyways, channel's growing. We're raising up voices of other artists. We're working together. We're collaborating. So come on, jump in the pool. Don't be afraid. We don't bite. Well, the squigs bite, but we don't. And we'll go from there. There is more stuff coming as well. I've started learning how to do Twitch. Again, old Big Mek, really old. I started computers with DOS, okay? A Commodore 64 was the first computer I ever touched. So Twitch is a little new for me, all right? But I'm starting to get it figured out. So I hope to be doing some Twitch streaming soon. If you want to be a part of that, you should come join us over on Patreon. I even have a free tier. I don't paywall any of my stuff. So you can come join us for free on Patreon and get the links for the Twitch streams for when we start doing those later on this month. And that's what this is all about. So the big channel news is obviously what is coming up, what videos can you expect. For October, obviously we celebrated October. I did 31 videos in 31 days, and there were some epic bangers in there. If you haven't watched those videos, I have an entire playlist on the channel homepage. go click video 1 and then sit down with your favorite cup of squig juice and some red squig and just enjoy, because it is awesome. And then, yeah, here in November, or here, it's not November anymore, is it? It's December, yeah. Anyways, back in November, we started our terrain project, working on Octarius terrain, modifying it, prepping it, priming it, and there will be a painting video coming out for that one, as well as some more terrain work. But in December, I am doing a Beast Snaga army build. So what I've got is I've got this box, plus I've got the old Beast Snaga army box from when it first launched, plus another Mazrog Scragbad. I think that's it for not built yet, for Beast Snaga stuff. And I'm really excited to build all of this stuff. I'm an old school orc guy. I'm very much speed freaks. Give me all the war buggies. But the more I looked at these models, especially like my buddy Ken's army, I saw just how speed freaky they were, and that they have wheels and tires and engines, and that's really cool. And squigs are cool, so, you know, put them together. It should be extra cool. So I've been really excited to do this army. That's why I was willing to go sell my Blood Angels in order to get this and do it here on the channel. So how that's going to work is we'll be doing some Twitch stream hangouts where I will be building these things, doing it all on Twitch. When we're done with the Twitch, I'll probably upload it to YouTube. That's supposed to be a thing, so you can go back and watch it if you missed the stream, or throw it on in the background while you're painting, which is something I like to do. And then I'm going to be doing a YouTube video on actually doing the army. My favorite videos on all of YouTube are always the crazy army builds. It doesn't necessarily have to be 24 hours. I just love seeing an army come together, and I want to be more realistic about it. I did one on how quickly you can paint a squad, and I've done a couple of things on building stuff, but I've never done a whole army build start to finish, and being that I only have one Beast Snaga built in my entire army, which was a conversion from the Warhammer Plus special mini to turn them into a beast boss. Yeah, so I don't have a Beast Snaga army, so this is going to be my chance to put all of my Beast Snagas together at the same time and paint them all at the same time. And do all of that with you guys live on Twitch, and then again make a video about it at the end, talking about how long it actually takes a regular person who doesn't own a functioning airbrush and isn't, you know, some crazy YouTuber trying to do it in 24 hours or 48 hours or something like that. Regular person, right? You got 4 grots at home, stuff going on. How long does it take you to really build and paint an army that you love and care about? So that is going to be what is coming up in December here on The Red Ones Go Fasta. So that's been all the news worth talking about this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, throw me a like. If you didn't enjoy it, throw me a dislike. Either way helps me out. I really appreciate it. If you really like what you see, again, feel free to join us over on Patreon. Check out our Twitch streams when I get those going. Also, our patrons get to see some videos before everybody else. So some of my long format videos, they get between 12 and 24 hours exclusive with them before they go up on YouTube for the general public, which is a pretty cool perk. They also participate in polls that help decide things. Like, for example, in my terrain build series, I've got the Battle for McCrag Crashed Lander, and they have picked which biome it is going in, which turns out to be snow. So we are going to make the lander look like it has crashed on a snow planet. We'll do a whole video on that. And then they're also going to be getting some not exclusive videos. Again, I don't want to paywall anything, but I do have one video on Patreon that is free for everybody on Patreon that you can go and look at there. But what patrons can do is the paid patrons are actually going to be able to request specific builds. So obviously here on this channel, I'm all about saving teeth. I'm all about converting, kit bashing, making things 100% legal for your Warhammer game, and how to do that, as cheaply and as coolly as possible, and also getting your kids into Warhammer and stuff. So they're going to have opportunities to go, hey, this is specifically the character I need some help with a kit bash on, or would love to see you kit bash, or hey, let's do a battle, not a battle report, but a scenario. There we go, a battle scenario for the kids, and do a specific one to help get them excited for Squigmas. or whatever the case may be. So those are the kind of cool things that are happening over there on Patreon. Anyways, that's going to do it for this one. I've rambled on far too long as it is. But you can't help it. You chug a red squig, you start having a good time hanging out with everybody, talking about Warhammer 40,000 and orcs, and I could just do it all day long. I just love it. And I know you love it too, and that's why you're here. So thank you very much. And until next time, walk on! All together now. Wag! Welcome back to the Red Ones Go Faster. I'm old Big Mek, and it's another time for the bad.